All right. Well, it looks like we have just gone live to Facebook. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. My name is Luke Waters, and I work in the admissions department as an admissions recruiter here at Memphis Theological Seminary. If you are joining us on Facebook Live today, we are really excited for you to be here. I'll be spending the next hour or so talking about Memphis Theological Seminary and all of the really incredible programs, student activities, alumni, things like that that we have to offer. If you have any questions while I am sharing, feel free to write those in the comments and we can definitely get to those as a part of this call. But again, just really excited that you're here. And if you do have to step away at some point, this recording will stay on our Facebook page for a long time. So you're always welcome to check back in. But yeah, thank you again for being here, and let's get started. So this opening slide is a really lovely drawing of the front of Memphis Theological Seminary. We absolutely love this drawing and we use it all the time. Cool, so a little bit about MTS. MTS was founded in the 1850s as an ecumenical mission of the Cumberland Presbyterian Church. It was actually located originally in McKenzie, Tennessee, but in the 1960s, due to civil unrest, the civil rights movement, and lots of other reasons, the MTS came together and decided to move to Memphis, Tennessee. It was a much larger city, and they moved with the intention to become one of the first institutions in the country to welcome all races and genders to be theologically educated. And that mission we're still committed to today. We are, all about committing and educating and sustaining women and men for ordained and lay Christian ministry in the church and in the world. And we'll talk about both of those facets a lot as we go through the slides today. So just a little bit about me. I already shared my name and title, but I did graduate from Ohio Wesleyan University, and then have worked at several organizations in Memphis since graduating, and now I'm really grateful to be at MTS. There's my contact information right there, so you are welcome to take a screenshot, but I will also share that again at the end for anyone who is interested in reaching out to learn more or have a one-on-one conversation or a tour or anything like that. My coworker, Dr. Reverend Felicia Levant, is a wonderful, wonderful resource as well. She actually got her MDiv and her DMin both from MTS. Just celebrated her graduation ceremony in 2021, so really excited for her. And there's her contact information as well. You're always welcome to contact her if you have questions or need time to discern and just talk through the process. She's a fantastic resource as well. So let's talk a little bit about the student body at MTS. So we do have, most of our students are master degree students, but we do have a fair number of doctoral students and students who are doing non-degree. So that may be a certificate program, doing an alternate course of study, something like that. So we have lots of options available and students from all walks of life participating in each of those programs. MTS, we really focus on combining education in the classroom, that theological depth with practical experience. It's incredibly important to get out into the community and learn how to interact with all sorts of people, right? Ministry is an incredibly relational thing. And so it's not just about sitting in the classroom, studying scripture and studying scholars. It's about getting out there into the community and doing work directly with people. We also have incredibly engaged faculty here at MTS. Our faculty are not only have been studying the New Testament or their particular field for decades, but they're also usually working as well. We have professors who are pastors, who are running nonprofits, who are running side businesses, all sorts of things up and down the spectrum. And so you're not only coming to learn from people who have spent their entire life studying these things, but also actually practicing them out in the real world. And then finally, we do have a really incredible network. I'll go into a little bit of some of our wonderful alumni in a bit, but MTS is an amazing place to come and connect and learn about people from Memphis, the Mid-South, and all over the country. So yeah. And then just a little bit more about our diversity. We do have over 22 affiliated denominations. We are right now, majority are United Methodist and Cumberland Presbyterian, but a lot of other denominations represented: Baptist, Church of God in Christ, the Disciples of Christ, all sorts of people up and down the spectrum. And you get to sit in classrooms with people who are from a different denomination. So they may be coming from a different idea about the scripture that you're reading, and that can be really beneficial to learn from those people in the same classroom as you. And then finally, we are pretty evenly split between male and female in terms of our number of students. And then we are a majority African-American school, but do have other races represented as well. And then finally, we are pretty evenly split age-wise. We have a good number of students in that 21 to 35 range, but then our highest cohort right now is actually ages 36 to 50. But then almost another 25% are ages 51 to 65, and we do have students who are over the age of 65. So again, when you're getting into that classroom, you're going to be with a college student who just finished their bachelor's a year ago, with a 60-year-old pastor who's been working in the profession for 30 years. And learning from those two incredibly different experiences is a really valuable thing that we bring to the classroom every single day. I'm going to dive a little bit more into our degree programs, but you can see just a list of those available. It is important to know that if you are interested in auditing a class, we do have that option. The classes are cheaper to do, and if maybe you're thinking about a master's or pursuing a certificate program, but you're not sure if that's right for you, come audit a class with us, see what it's like to be in a classroom setting in MTS. And then if you really love it, you can join us full-time for a degree program. So let's go ahead and dive into the degree options that we have here at MTS. The first one that I'll go into is the Master of Divinity degree program. That is one of our most popular degree programs. We also have a Master of Arts in Christian Ministry program with 5 different specializations. That again, I will dive into in a little bit with more specificity about each of those. And then we do have a really incredible Doctor of Ministry program. We are planning to do 4 tracks in 2022, and you can see those listed there. And so I'll talk about some of those. But yeah, we're really excited to get to have even more doctorate students with us in 2022. So the Master of Divinity program, what is it actually like to get into the MDiv? It is an 84 credit hour program. You do about 48 hours in core courses. So those are things that every single master degree student at MTS takes part in. Classes like interpreting the Hebrew Bible, introduction to Christian ethics, so on and so forth. And then you have a good chunk of your classes are dedicated to interfaith and intercultural electives, seminars, electives that you get to choose based on what you're really interested in, whether it's preaching, church history, church polity, whatever it might be. You get to choose quite a few of the classes that you take as a part of this Master of Divinity program. We do have some specializations within the MDiv. The Wesleyan Study Certificate is for those who are interested in being ordained as an elder within the United Methodist Church. It is required to pursue an MDiv if you want to be ordained as an elder in the UMC. And so that certificate is a part of the Master of Divinity program. We also have a chaplain studies certificate. So if you're interested in becoming a chaplain, whether that's in a hospital, an elder care facility, any other type of healthcare place, prisons, military, colleges, any of those opportunities. We do have a certificate that you can take as a part of the Master of Divinity program, where you take a lot of classes in pastoral therapy and care, and you really get a great foundation for being a chaplain once you graduate. So in terms of the Master of Divinity this fall, we have put out our fall schedule officially. We are returning back to in-person classes for the first time in several semesters, which we are really, really excited about. We really missed having students on campus. As I mentioned earlier, ministry is incredibly relational, and that's true for when we're studying it as well. And so in order to not have too many students on campus, but also get students back learning in person, we've kind of come out with 3 different types of classes for this fall. So they are listed over here on the left. We're going to have a weekly hybrid online class where you meet once a week in person, and the rest of that class is done completely virtually. We have a monthly hybrid online, which is the same thing, except instead of meeting once a week, you only meet once a month in person, and the rest of the class is done virtually. And then finally, we do have some asynchronous classes. Those are classes that will be done completely online. So it's really a flexible scheduling programming. We have night classes. We have classes, that meet on Thursday and Friday. If you're coming out of town, it's easier to just take off one day of work on a Friday, drive up here, do the class, and then get back to work that next Monday. We are committed to meeting you where you need, and so we're going to continue to provide these flexible scheduling options going forward. And just so you know, in our traditional context, when we're not having to deal with COVID-19 concerns, we do have 100% face-to-face track. We have a night track where you can take every single class at night that's required in the degree program. We have a hybrid program where you can do most of your classes online with a little bit still in person. And then you can kind of combine all 3 of those options. MTS, again, is really about meeting you where you are in your situation. And so whatever type of classes you need to take in whatever schedule, we're going to try to provide that opportunity. So if you're interested why students pursue the MDiv, there are a couple of reasons that we definitely get responses on. We hear a lot that the MDiv is really the gold standard. There are so many people who want to prepare or enhance their leadership in ministry, and the Master of Divinity is the best program to do that because it's not just giving you, obviously a great introduction to ministry, but it's also getting into specifics, preaching, teaching Christian education, doing pastoral care and therapy, leading a church, doing financial stewardship. All of those things are so incredibly important if you're going to be a minister, if you're going to be leading a church. And so the MDiv really is that gold standard when it comes to preparing for that career. The really cool thing about the MDiv, though, is that you don't have to be a minister if you get the Master of Divinity degree. There are so many jobs that you can take this degree program to. You can be a lay leader within your church. You can go work in chaplaincy, in counseling, in family advocacy. You can be, a teacher. There are so many options with the Master of Divinity program because it gives you such a well-rounded platform from which to launch. So that's all I'm going to share about the Master of Divinity degree program. I'm going to go ahead and shift into our second master degree program, the Master of Arts in Christian Ministry. So it is a shorter program than the MDiv. Instead of 84 credit hours, it only requires 48 credits to graduate from this program. 18 of those hours are really similar to the Master of Divinity. It says core courses that we talked about previously, interpreting the Hebrew Bible, Christian ethics, so on and so forth. You do also get an interfaith and intercultural elective, and then you get quite a few hours that you get to choose in seminars, electives, and practicums. So that's really exciting. You're going to get to choose anywhere from 5 to 6 classes that you get to select that are going to be based on a specialization that you've chosen. So I'm going to share about the 5 specializations that we have available for the Master of Arts in Christian Ministry degree program. The first is on the right on the screen here, which is chaplain studies. So again, that's for students who are interested in becoming a chaplain in any of these type of facilities. And so if you come in and you want to become a chaplain, you can pursue this program, and then every single elective that you take will be around pastoral care, pastoral therapy, and all of those sorts of things. We have 4 other specializations to choose from if you decide on the MACM degree program. We do have youth and young adult ministry if you really want to continue to work with young people in the church and in the world. We have a Christian education specialization. If you are already a director or a teacher of Christian education, or you want to become one either within the congregational setting or somewhere else, the Master of Arts in Christian Ministry and Christian Education is the perfect program for people who want to work in that field. We do have a concentration in Methodist ministry. So if you're interested in being ordained as a deacon in the United Methodist Church, you can pursue this degree program with the Methodist ministry specialization. And then finally, we do have a social justice specialization. So that is for people who are really interested in addressing systemic injustice, whether that's through the church or in nonprofit organizations or any other type of field. And so again, some really incredible specialization possibilities. And once you choose one, all of your elective classes are really focused on that specialization. So if you choose youth and young adults, every elective class you take is going to be about working with youth, working with young adults, and meeting them where they are, bringing them into ministry, all of those sorts of things that are so important. We have a similar schedule. Let me go back a little bit in terms of the Master of Arts in Christian Ministry, same class types, weekly hybrid online, monthly hybrid online, asynchronous, which are completely online. And then again, during our normal times when we're not worried about COVID-19, we do have all of these flexible scheduling options available, night classes, hybrid classes available, so that you can really pick and choose the schedule that you need. I want to talk a little bit about some of the wonderful alumni that we have had graduate from MTS. The longer I work here, the more I learn about some of the incredible people that have come through MTS. Just the more you look around the Memphis community, the Mid-South, the more you will see the imprint of this incredible seminary. So we do have professors at the University of Memphis. Our alumni have gone on to found nonprofits like the Room in the Inn Memphis, which helps to rehouse people experiencing homelessness. They helped to find Knowledge Quest, which is a nonprofit in South Memphis that's dedicated to youth mentorship and after-school activities. The chaplain at the West Cancer Clinic is an MTS alumni. And then we do have pastors, associate pastors, lay leaders all over Memphis and the Mid-South, leading churches. And so our imprint is really everywhere. And so I wanted to share a few specific stories with those of you that are joining us today. We have some really wonderful alumni like Todd Richardson. Todd helped actually, as a founder of Crosstown Arts, helped to redo the Sears Crosstown building into one of the coolest buildings, not only in Memphis, but in the country. Crosstown went from being an abandoned Sears building to a building that has 40,000 square feet that include nonprofit organizations, the Church Health Center, the YMCA, shops, grocery stores, offices, all sorts of things are in this building. And Todd really had the idea, instead of tearing it down, to turn it into a useful place that the entire city can celebrate. And Todd did graduate in 2000 with the Master of Arts from MTS. So we really celebrate Todd and everything that he does for our community. Kelsey Johnson is also an MTS alumni. Kelsey was working with the Memphis Hospitality Hub, which helps people experiencing homelessness, find stable housing, get jobs, all those sorts of things. And so he was actually working directly with them as a staff member, and they thought that he was such an incredible staff member that he ended up becoming the executive director of Hospitality Hub. And so Kelsey graduated back in 2013 with a Master of Arts from MTS. And again, we're so proud of the work that he's doing in the community to really help people exit homelessness. Diane Harrison is another one of our incredible alumni at MTS. She actually helped to start Grace Place, which is one of only 2 United Methodist congregations in the entire world that are located inside a penitentiary in a prison. And so the cool thing is that Grace Place is not actually, the kind of typical prison ministry that you hear about. It is an actual congregation. They go and do church and service in person. And so we are really proud that Diane is doing such incredible work, bringing ministry to people who so often are left out of the fold. And we're so proud of her accomplishments as well. Dr. Walter Spears is the chaplain at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. He is an MTS alumni. He graduated from with a Doctor of Ministry in 2020, very recently, and loves working with kids and being in such an important role within St. Jude's. Obviously, we all know that St. Jude not only helps so many children who are dealing with significant illnesses, but also is such an important part of the Memphis community. And so we're so grateful that Dr. Spears came to MTS, got his DMin, and is continuing to serve in such a wonderful capacity at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. I also wanted to, this is the last one. Y'all could go on for like 15 years about our alumni. Like I literally could do 47 more slides and I would still have 47 more after that. But the last thing I want to pay attention to is Morehouse inducts every single year a board of preachers and a collegium of scholars. It's a big deal to get on this list. Morehouse is a wonderful college that has a national reputation. And if you look at some of the people on here, I'm sure you'll recognize names and figures. And so the really wonderful thing that we're so proud of this year is that we had 4 separate people that are MTS alumni or faculty get appointed to either the board of preachers, the board of sponsors, or the collegium of scholars. So you can see their names there. We've also had alumni who have previously been inducted in to either the Board of Preachers or the Collegium of Scholars. And so again, you can see that MTS has a nationwide appeal, right? There are people all over the country who are paying attention to what our alumni are doing because they are so well prepared once they graduate from our institution. Again, just want to remind anybody who's joining us, you're welcome to ask questions on the Facebook Live, and we will answer them here. I did want to talk a little bit about campus activities. We have a lot of activities at MTS that are all about getting students to get to know each other, to network within Memphis, to build sustainable practices to help sustain them throughout ministry. And so, yeah, I'd love to talk about a few of those. The first few that I want to pay attention to is the Methodist House of Studies, the Cumberland Presbyterian House of Studies, and the Women in Ministry group. All 3 of them kind of have the same idea, which is to get groups of people together who have a similar background and get them to network, learn from each other, build relationships, all those sorts of things. And so we have been doing a lot of these groups virtually because of COVID-19. But as we get back into on-campus classes in the fall, we do expect that some of these events will start happening in person again, which we're really, really excited about. So if you're a Methodist student, if you're a Cumberland Presbyterian student, if you're a woman who is pursuing ministry, we have these groups available to give you that support, that backup, that networking platform to really succeed, not only while you're here at MTS, but once you graduate. We also have the Center for Faith and Imagination, which is a really incredible connection to Memphis Theological Seminary. They really work in helping ministers to learn how to sustain themselves throughout their career. Ministry is an incredibly taxing profession. You're dealing not only with a congregational setting, church finances, maybe the nonprofit that you're working at, but you're also dealing directly with a lot of different people's emotions, community members, all of those sorts of things. And so because of that, it's incredibly important to learn how to revitalize yourself, sustain yourself throughout your years of service to the community. And that's what the Center for Faith and Imagination is all about. So they have small working groups. They have larger groups that get together. They put on seminars, all sorts of things like that. And so it's a really incredible thing that you can definitely be a part of once you get here. And it'll really help you sustain yourself throughout your time. And then once you graduate. And then I also wanted to bring some attention to MTS Chapel and our Sunday morning seminary. We are doing both of these online right now due to COVID-19. We just had our final MTS Chapel of the semester a few weeks ago, but we'll be coming back and doing it again starting in August once we start the fall semester. At MTS Chapel, we have students and professors and friends of the university lead us through a worship service around 11 or 11:15 on Tuesdays. It's completely free. We stream it live on Facebook. So I would definitely encourage you to connect with us there. I think my favorite part about chapel is that you kind of slowly see the students go from leading small portions of it to completely running the entire chapel service. And so actually the final chapel that we did this year was the preaching was done by someone who had graduated just a few weeks before, or a few weeks later, Lindsay Anderson, excuse me. She did an incredible job, and it was just so much fun to see a student who was about to graduate completely lead the chapel service and give such a wonderful sermon. And then finally, Sunday morning seminary is something that MTS has been doing for a couple of years now that we really love. It's a free lectionary series every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We do present it on Facebook Live, but we can always send you the Zoom link as well if you're interested in joining us there. These are usually professors or faculty here at MTS, but also friends of the seminary that come in and give an hour lectionary on something that they're really passionate about. So I'll share a little bit more because we actually still have that series going on over the summer. So I'll share a little bit more about that in a minute. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of what the events are like right now in kind of the COVID-19 era at MTS. We have stuff like this like every week or two. We'll have somebody come who's written a book recently, who's done something important in the community, who's been, impactful on Memphis and our city, and they'll come and they'll chat with one of our professors. They'll answer questions, and you'll just get to really learn from them. And so just a few weeks ago, excuse me, we had John McTavish here to talk about his new book on Jesus and Elvis. What a cool conversation that was to be a part of. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing these again in the fall, and hopefully we'll be getting to have some in person at some point during the fall as well. I already mentioned virtual chapel. Like I said, every Tuesday, right around 11:30. You can always join us on Facebook Live. We would always be delighted to have you. And then finally, as I mentioned, that Sunday morning seminary lectionary series, we actually do have 2 more planned out for June. Dr. Christy Woodbury-Moore will be presenting over 2 different Sundays, this Sunday, June 6th, and the following Sunday, June 13th, on her Thirsting for More, Employing Spiritual Practices for Deeper Communion with God. So that's going to be at 9 a.m. right here on Facebook Live over the next 2 Sundays. So if you're interested, if you want to learn a little bit more about MTS, if you want to see our faculty in practice, I would definitely encourage you to register at sundaymorningseminary.org. Dr. Woodbury-Moore is an incredible speaker, and I am really excited to get to participate in that over the next couple of weekends. So let's actually get into kind of the nuts and the bolts of applying to become a student here at MTS. So in terms of the master degree program, we do ask for an application fee. We are actually waiving that for the fall 2021 semester. So if you want to join us this fall, you do not need to worry about paying that fee as long as you get in your complete application by August 14th. So again, as the master degree application, requires an online application. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out. It's very easy. We ask for 3 recommendation letters, a clergy member, a lay member, and then either an academic or professional reference. We do ask for all of the transcripts from every higher education institution that you've attended. That's really important if you want to get financial aid. We really need every single transcript from all the places that you've been to so that we can take a look through all the schooling that you've been a part of and make sure that if you're eligible for financial student loans, that you are able to do so. And then finally, we do ask for a personal essay. It's just 3 to 5 pages. The details about what to write about are on our website, but I'd be happy to share those as well with anyone who is interested. We do have kind of 2 different deadlines for both the fall and spring semester. So our early admission deadline has actually been extended to June 6th. So you still have a few more days left if you want to start this fall of 2021 and apply for scholarships. That's why that early admission deadline is so important. If you don't complete your scholarship or complete your application by the early admission deadline and get accepted into MTS and register for courses, you will not be eligible to apply for our internal scholarships. Same thing is true in the spring semester. If you want to start with us in what would be January of 2022, you got to make sure to get everything in before November 30th and register for classes so that you can complete the scholarship application in time. If you're not worried about the scholarship application, if you have your own means for paying, if you just are okay with pursuing student loans, we do have a final deadline of mid-August. So it'll be August 13th or 14th this coming fall. And then for the January 2022 semester, it'll be due right around January 15th. As I mentioned, we do not have an application fee for the fall of 2021. So if you're applying to a master's degree program or a doctoral program, go ahead, start that application, send it in to us as soon as possible, and we'll get to waive your application fee once everything comes in. So it's important to know that that means we not only need your application, but all parts of the application, references, essay, and transcripts in order to waive that application fee. In terms of the actual cost of the program, the Master of Divinity degree is about $610 per credit hour. And since it is an 84 credit hour program, that comes out to about $51,000. The Master of Arts is the same amount per credit program hour, but because it is a shorter program, it's only 48 credit hours, it's a little closer to $30,000 for that program. And then the Doctor of Ministry is a little bit less per credit hour. It's actually only $590 per credit hour. And over a 36 credit hour program, that's about $21,000. It is important to know that the Doctor of Ministry program usually includes an immersion near the end. And so that cost can be estimated from anywhere to $3,000 to $5,000. So the really wonderful thing about MTS is you may not have to pay that amount if you come and apply to attend. We have a lot of internal scholarships here at MTS, not only for new students, but broken down by denomination, broken down by demographics, all of those sorts of things. This is actually just a screenshot of what our internal scholarship page looks like. So when you click on scholarships at MTS, this is what you will pull up. And yeah, there are a lot of really wonderful opportunities. You just have to make sure to get in all of your documents before that early deadline, get accepted, and register for courses. You know, MTS is a small institution, and so we want to see a commitment that you're ready to start classes so that you can apply for those scholarships as well. The really wonderful thing is we understand that internal scholarships are not always enough. And so our Director of Enrollment has actually put together a really incredible list of external scholarships that you can begin applying for at any time. There's no stipulation about needing to have applied to MTS or been accepted. These scholarships all have their own individual logistics. And so would definitely encourage you to go check these out. Again, they're broken down by denominations, demographics, all of those sorts of things. A lot of really wonderful funding opportunities available for anyone who is interested in pursuing a degree program here with us at MTS. So there are a lot of ways to connect with staff going forward. We work Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and we work Fridays, 8 to 3. We are going virtual Fridays over the summer. And so if you're interested in chatting with us, we'll still definitely be available. But if you want to tour on a Friday, just let us know in advance as far in advance as possible, excuse me, so that we can make sure that somebody is around to lead you around. But we are also back to accepting students to go on tours. So if you want to come and check out the campus, you're welcome to come learn a little bit. We'll do an admissions presentation if you want, answer any questions you might have, get you started on the application process, and you can actually get to see our really lovely campus. Yeah. And we would especially love for you to do that in the fall once we have students back, so you can really see what it's like to have this campus bustling with students and faculty again. So yeah, there is my contact information and the contact information of my coworker, Reverend Dr. Felicia Levant. You are welcome to take a screenshot or write down that information and contact us with any questions you might have. It can be maybe you're kind of discerning right now if seminary is the right step for you. We're happy to talk through about that process. Why are you interested in seminary? What are your goals out of it? And is MTS really the right place for you? Maybe you are ready to hit the ground running and all you need is the directions. Reach out to us and we will send you an email that has all of the application guidelines. And it'll be an incredibly simple process for you. But yeah, the admissions office and Dr. Levant and I are here for anything that you might need throughout your time applying to MTS. And then I do want to encourage anybody who is watching to definitely follow us on social media. Obviously, we're live on Facebook right now, but we are very active on Instagram, Twitter. We have a YouTube page, we have a LinkedIn. You are welcome to follow us. And it's really important to follow us there because we have lots of online events that are free that I know a lot of people would love to be a part of. And we post a lot of admissions opportunities and information there. So if we end up waiving our fee at some point for the spring 2022 semester, that information will be on our social media pages. So definitely would encourage you to follow us there. So luckily, it looks like there are no questions on Facebook. I've covered a lot of information, so hopefully that means that you all learned everything that you are interested in knowing. Again, this will stay up on our Facebook platform. And if you want to come and revisit this, please feel free. And if not, give us a call or send us an email, and we'd love to chat with you further about our program opportunities here at MTS. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and hope everyone has a lovely day.